on.
Oh, okay.
Mum, finish the story. Did he pick you up in a nice car?
Who? Your brother?
No, last Friday night. I want details.
Oh, stop it.
He picked you up in his nice car. He was wearing an interesting tie, Rue said. You need to tell me about the romance, Mummy.
This is not a mountain. This is a molehill.
He took you to the Ivy?
No, to the Indian at the end of the street.
That's a bit cheap.
Well, it was informal.
With him in his tie?
Oh, I don't know, Alexandra. He was fine. He was a little bit different from what I expected. And he seemed to be confused by the city. I've never known anyone talk so much about the ring road. The ring road this, the feeder lanes, the traffic, the amount of single passenger cars on the M62. Well, I didn't know what to say. I thought all this talk about the traffic meant he was trying to stay the night.
With you? On the first date?
Well, not in our house.
You could have used my room.
Not in your room, Alexandra. Well, I told him that this was new to me and I was nervous and... and that I absolutely adored my children.
Why?
Because I do.
Why did it come up?
Well, he said his passion was for the outdoors. So he asked me if I had any passions.
Your garden.
He said passions.
You have passions that are not your children, Mum. Don't say we're your passions.
Well, it's the truth.
It makes people nervous. Men.
You and Rupert mean the world to me. And I just wanted him to know that no matter what happened, he would never be as important to me as you two.
Perfect.
You know I love you.
I know that.
We don't say it enough.
We say it.
Anyway, I had to say something to stop all his talk of the outdoors and fox hunting. He knows those men who broke into the House of Commons to protest. I would have been there, he said, but they wanted younger men who didn't have such large stomachs. Well, I had to smile at that. And then I didn't know what to think when he was talking about the smell of his saddle and how lovely it was. I suppose he meant the leather, but I thought that he was talking about his own smell. Mum! Well, I don't know. I thought he was trying to talk about, you know... Oh. No, I didn't. I suppose everyone's vegetable patch is different.
He was handsome, though, from what Rupert said.
More outdoorsy than handsome.
Like Dad.
Your father was not outdoorsy.
He was tanned.
Yes, but he wasn't ruddy. Oh, I shouldn't be cruel. He said to me, my passion is fox hunting. But it's different for him, he said, because he truly understands the animal. He's read some book on the American Indian and how it has a soul connection to its prey. So he has that too, apparently. He was very serious. Some people on the hunt can be foolish, as you might imagine.
Daddy thought hunts were ridiculous.
Well, yes, but he wasn't foolish on them, though.
He always said they were ridiculous.
Your father was not foolish. And anyway...
Can you remember?
He told me that he truly understands the animal, he can feel what the animal's feeling. So I said that I could feel that. I understood that because I can feel what my children are feeling.
Oh, Mum.
Do you remember at the old place in Finchley when you slipped and knocked your knee into the door frame? You just got out of the bath and you were running naked at the time.
You told him I was naked.
Well, you had just come straight from the bath.
You don't talk about your daughter being naked.
Your knee was almost skinned to the bone and I almost couldn't stand to look at it. Your father held on to me and he said, I was the one who was supposed to remain calm. I was the one who was supposed to hold it together. And he was true, I was right. We got hold of you, we lifted you up. You won't remember. We linked our arms underneath you, and it calmed me down. He could always calm me down. He would hold on to me for minutes on end. Do you remember his voice?
You didn't talk to him about Daddy's voice, did you?
It's not wrong to talk about your father. I won't be told how I should mourn. It's hardly been a year. Well, maybe a couple of years.
But on a date?
A dinner?
Your first dinner with anyone?
I told him during dinner that sometimes I can't even remember the sound of your father's voice.
When? During pudding?
Oh, we decided not to have pudding.
Who decided?
Well, there didn't seem to be much point. Our meal was very filling. And anyway,
People have wrote on conversation.
people of our age are into their own types of conversations, and he was interested. I told him that sometimes I have to sit in the dark just to try and hear your father's voice. Sometimes I have to sit in the quiet just to bring back any small word. He knew your father from school.
Hello?
He said, once your father had to stand up and recite William Blake. His voice had already deepened and the other boys were quite jealous. I told him that I wished I could hear his voice right then.
He must have enjoyed that.
It's okay. He had his own example.
His ex-wife lives in Scotland. She's not dead.
Not her. He said that sometimes he finds it hard to remember the sound, the bark of one of his favourite hounds.
Mum,
I just looked down at my fork.
he was making a
He
joke.
wasn't.
Oh, Mum.
And then he had to drive home. We had to drive 50 feet down the street. He insisted. Well, that was another chance for him to complain about the traffic. We pulled up outside the house and couldn't park because there was too many cars. So he said it would have to be a quick goodbye.
Did he kiss you?
Alexandra?
Mum.
Well, I don't know what it was. As he came in towards me, and I thought, oh, I got this feeling that I used to get at the end of the Christmas party when one of your father's friends would kiss me goodbye for too long. I felt unfaithful. And then, as he loomed in towards me, I noticed something. Oh, and this is awful.
It's all right.
Well, I noticed there was some sort of chicken korma sauce on his moustache.